quick video. So a couple months ago, I had mentioned how I just started going to church again with a couple of family members of mine, and for the first time in years and years, basically since I was a kid, and how this had contributed to a greater a deeper appreciation for the potential for value that exists in going to church with your family, and how as an atheist, this had been a pretty gigantic blind spot of mine, because it's very easy as a non-believer, as someone who doesn't go to church, to recognize all the baggage, all the bad shit that comes along with these beliefs existing in the minds of many, many people. And in turn, it's quite difficult to give the devil his due and recognize the positive potential for value that exists in these beliefs in the brains of millions and millions of people, and altering their behavior in ways that are better than they otherwise would be. And it's just, I wasn't giving that enough credit, I feel. I wasn't able to see that anywhere near as clearly as I feel that I'm able to now, because, and not just in the beliefs themselves, but also in this strengthened sense of community and strengthening of already existing relationships, and functioning as the glue that holds many families together, at least assists in helping to hold many families together. And how, again, I don't believe it to be the optimal foundation of values, but just being able to more clearly recognize that the alternatives for many, many people are just so lacking. And that's something I just didn't give enough credit. Because, one thing I've been thinking more about lately is the fact that 20%, it's talked about plenty, the potential for danger that exists in parents recognizing themselves a little too deeply in their children, in the sense that they view their children as just complete extensions of themselves, and they're not able to recognize the child as an individual. And this contributes to, a cliche example would be, I never made it playing college football, so it's like, I'm going to do all that I can to ensure that is the outcome for my child. I'm going to do all that I can to work towards that aim as being just one of the most fundamental aims of my life, and by default his life. And if the first child I have is a girl, I'm going to try again, and if the second child I have is a girl, I'm going to go ahead and try again. And I feel that this is talked about plenty, that this can be a very, very bad thing. Parents attempting to live vicariously to this degree in their own children. But it isn't talked about enough, the fact that just millions upon millions of fathers, biological fathers, aren't able to, they feel little to no incentive to be a part of their own child's lives. And how, this is obviously multifaceted, but a lot of it rests in many fathers just not feeling as though their children are these quite significant extensions of themselves, and as a result feel as though they have just little to no desire to ensure that their children will live lives worth living, and they will be concerned with their child's long-term well-being and the long-term outcomes of their lives. And I don't think this is talked about enough, just how little to no kinship whatsoever, really, with their own children that they've brought into existence. And the rates of single parent households and ridiculously high. And you'd be a fool not to recognize the causal nature of it. The fact that boys who grow up without fathers are far more likely to become biological fathers who are deadbeat dads. And I do think that just going to church and seeing the way in which many families were so clearly bonding, and for many people, church is like, a second home where they can come together, and I don't know. It definitely wasn't something that I was giving much thought to prior to beginning to go, and this recent little health concern of mine has sort of got me thinking more about just how difficult life has the potential to become, and the importance of family, having people there for you. And I do think that again, that weekly practice can really assist in the strengthening of relationships. I don't know. It is mind-blowing, the fact that so many fathers don't feel just any concern for their own children's lives. And just the sheer percentage of that is just... And this is why I am in favor of the procreation Ponzi scheme, just recognizing that the majority of people who are having the most children are just... It's obvious that the most callous, apathetic, short-sighted, are creating the most people, because they're not able to recognize just how substantial of a thing it is to create a person, to impose the potential for severe suffering. You see many people doing that without even considering what the outcomes will be for their own children's lives. They don't even think about it. It isn't even a thought that occurs, that enters their mind, about what kind of a life will my child live? What will they have to endure? Doesn't even occur. Doesn't even... And that really does... It's hard to conceptualize that. It's hard to put yourself in the shoes of someone who really genuinely doesn't care about the outcomes of their own children's lives. And that's a large portion of people, of men in particular, women as well. And again, the causes of this, it's multifaceted, obviously. But I don't know. It's just, it's just, I've been thinking more about it lately, and I'm still young. I'm an idiot. There's a lot I have left to learn about the world around me. So let me know your thoughts. We're at 8 minutes. That's good. I don't know. It's so easy to pick religion apart and all the horrible shit, the baggage that comes along with it. But it is more difficult to really give it at least some credit for the way in which it's able to function as this glue that holds many people's lives together. Let me know what your thoughts are.